Good afternoon guys, Adam here at Board at Home, and in today's Jump In Let's Play we are taking a look at Dungeon Raiders. So with this game, the object is to work your way through 5 dungeons, each with 5 rooms, defeating various things like goblins, working out vaults, collecting treasure, avoiding traps, and ostensibly you'll be working together to get through that. You have these power cards here, which we will show you as we have a quick playthrough. But ultimately, at the end of the game, it's whoever has the most gold and the least amount of wounds is the winner. So before we get into it, we'll just describe the setup here for you. So at the top here, we have got our room deck. So this is a set of cards that will be revealed as we go through each room. In the 5th dungeon here, the last card will be a boss card. It has that on the back and will be one of these randomised creatures that is picked at the start of the game. So we go to the rooms, so I'll just show you on this one. So we've got our first dungeon set up and the rooms laid out accordingly. So on this card, just to give you an idea, the green cards at the bottom are cards that are face up, and red cards are cards that are face down. So as we can see from this one, with the 4 green and a red, so we've got 4 face up and 1 down. We can't see that though. There is an item that I'm going to show you in just a second that will allow you to look at that. To the right here, we've got our pile of wounds tokens and a pile of gold tokens. And to the left, we have these item cards. So these can normally be got through things like the vaults, like this one here. And we have a torch. So this can be played at any time and allows you to look at every dark room on the current dungeon level. So if we did have this, we would be able to look at that card. The crystal ball, you play that instead of a power card, and you can see what everyone else has placed down before you place yours. So you can maybe help people out in a fix, or if it's coming up to the trap room, you might be able to see what else other people are doing so you don't play the highest card. Here we've got a key. So this counts as a power 5 card, which is one of these. And you can only play it in the treasure room, which is this card here. And then the sword, this counts again as a power 5 card, and this can only be played in monster rooms. So the monster room looks like this. So you have the creature, the image. Down here is the defense of the creature. We're playing a 3-player game, so we're only looking at this one. And if we failed to defeat the creature, then it would deal that wound to the person who played the lowest cards. Our vault card. So on this one, each person plays one of their remaining power cards, and then based on what they've got or what they've placed down, they will get the appropriate item, or they sometimes will get a potion to heal wounds, and sometimes there will be gold. This one is relatively simple. So whoever plays the highest power card gets 4 gold, whoever plays the lowest power card gets 2 gold. If people draw, so if these two were to play 5, then they would split the 4. If all 3 of them did, then they would split the 4, they'd get 1 gold each, and the remainder would be discarded. Finally, we've got our setup of our characters. So if we just take a look at the warrior here. So his one's fairly simple. He starts with 2 gold, so we've got his 2 gold there. But if we take a look at the knight here, you can see that he starts with a sword, so he's got that in his hands, and he also starts with 1 wound already. And the wizard here, he starts with 2 crystal balls, which we've got there. So each round you go into a room, you look through your cards, and then you play one of your cards. So let's get started. So we'll start with the goblin room. So the goblin, we said we need an 11 to defeat the goblin. So the wizard's going to look through. He's going to play one of his crystal balls first, because he just wants to see what will happen with the other two. He don't want to get rid of a high card if he doesn't have to. The warrior, he said he's going to play a 4, so he places that face down. And then the knight, he could use this, he doesn't have to, but he's going to play the 4 instead as well. So because the wizard played the crystal ball, he declares that he has done so before we reveal the others. He reveals it, that goes back to the supply. He gets to take a look at these two. He's like, okay, there's 2 4s there. I only need to play my 3. So he plays that. We turn them all over, take a look, and we check against the monster. We have enough, so the monster is defeated. These cards are then discarded for the round, so they play no further part in this dungeon. We take off this goblin here, and then he just gets discarded as well. So next up, we've got the vault. So we take a look at the vault. We can get some good treasures here. So the wizard, he's going to look through. He likes the idea of that key, but he cannot play the key. So he's going to play his 2. And he's going to replenish his crystal ball. The warrior here, he is going to play his 1. So he's going to go after the torch there. And then the knight, he is going to play, he's going to play this 5. The reason he's going to do that is because he's already got A5. He knows that there's a monster coming up, and he could do without the wounds because he can't win, or he has less chance of winning if he has wounds. So at the same time, everyone reveals their cards and they get the appropriate item. So the wizard gets his crystal ball, the warrior gets his torch, and the knight, played the 5 there, he gets to remove 1 wound. So that is now done. We don't need that anymore. So at this point, the warrior could use this to take a look at this last card. So we're going to do so. And again, that gets discarded. So he can see this card. It's a spike trap. So this is one of the trap cards in the game. As you can see here, the person who plays a 5 card loses 2 wounds. The person who plays a 4 card loses 2. The person who plays a 3 card loses 1. He doesn't share this information with his co-workers. He's going to keep that to himself. So he knows what is coming up, which means that he can plan his cards accordingly. Right, so we've got the blob up next. The wizard, he's going to play a crystal ball on this one. The warrior, he's going to play a 5. And the knight, he's going to use his sword for this one. So everyone reveals, but first we take a look at the crystal ball. So that goes back into the supply. He gets to look at these 2. We've got 5 and 5 there. So he's going to have to play a card. He's going to play his 4. Doesn't necessarily want to get rid of his 5. They are all revealed. We've got 14. We have enough to defeat the blob. And again, these cards get discarded. Now we get to the treasure room. So here we're going to take a look through. So the wizard's probably not going to win with this one, but he wants the treasure, so he's going to play the 5. The warrior, he knows what's coming up, so he's going to play the 3. And then the knight here, let's say he plays a 2, because he doesn't know what's coming up. It might be another monster, in which case he might need that 3. So everyone reveals. We've got a 5, we've got a 3, and we've got a 2. So the wizard gets he gets 4, but we can change this up to make this, because he would have got 4 individual ones. The warrior, he gets 2, and the knight gets nothing for that. And that is the treasure room cleared. Finally, we have the last card. This is the spike trap. So the wizard can only really play 1 card here. He might as well hold on to this because it's the end. So he plays his 1. We're going to leave these up for the moment. He's going to play his 2. Yeah. And he's going to play his 3 there. Okay, so for the purposes of this, the knight would take 1 wound. These 2 would not take anything. So all the cards are used up. We are through the dungeon, and everyone gets their cards back as such. Now that this one is done, we turn over the next one and discard this card here, and we then proceed to set up as per this here. So this one looks like it's going to be a little bit tougher. We've got a few more dark rooms, but I'm sure that our adventurers will be able to make it through. And this happens 4 more times until they get to the end boss, defeat the end boss, and then count up their treasure and their wounds. So that is pretty much everything for the game. If you do have any questions, do come into the shop and ask. We'll be happy to help you with it. We do have it in the library, and we have plenty of stock on the shelves of this game. It's a brilliant little game, very fast paced. You can do 3 to 5 players, and it doesn't take that long at all. You can see there that even with the explanation, 1 round didn't take overly long. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that for this week's Jump In Let's Play. As always, we're here to answer any questions you may have, and we'll see you in the boardroom.